believe that the Ross Valley School District Board has been and continues to violate the spirit and the letter of the Brown Act by discussing in closed sessions and or in de facto serial meetings subjects that are not allowed in closed session or serial meetings under California law. As a result, they are discussing and deliberating on items privately, which should be discussed in public and should be open to public scrutiny. They are this is where it gets good for me. They are depriving the public its right to open participation in the conduct of public business. We have raised this issue both in emails and in public meetings with the Ross Valley School Board, and our requests have been rejected. We believe that the instances we cite herein represent a pattern of secretive behavior and a culture lacking a commitment to transparency, my favorite word, which is not good for the public or for the Ross Valley schools. We are concerned that this pattern of potentially illegal behavior may result in a significant harm to the education of the children in the Ross Valley School District and to the taxpayers who fund it. We've had Brown Act discussions in here, and the irony that I find is that that letter was written by a current board member of the charter about the district. So transparency, let's talk about it all, the warts and ugly, let's be honest, and maybe we can come up with a solution together. But as long as we have the perspective, this is mine, this is yours, and we're going to fight and point fingers, I don't think we're going to make the progress that we need to make. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, we're going to close our open session.
I'd actually like to say something, Sharon. Sharon, I'd actually like to say something too.
Okay. Anybody else? Because I allotted a long period of time for each speaker because I thought we only had 3. So I'm going to ask each of you to just limit your comments to a minute so we have a really long agenda tonight, okay? And if everyone can introduce themselves.
My name is David Diambere. I have 2 kids in Whitehall. I was previously a parent. Both of them were in MAP program. I would like to suggest that it's hard to put all of this in 1 minute, but there was a lot of hatred in that first speech that was delivered by reading a page. I understand that when you have a school within a larger, I'm going back to MAP, resentments were created, but those resentments were institutionalized in STAND. And the moment STAND becomes really open and transparent, I think, from its inception, STAND and the district, I would claim as just a viewer of what's been going on, is trying to kill this charter. So when there's a claim that we want transparency, that's really not to support the charter, it's to kill the charter, which has been a goal of STAND, and I would suggest the district, since its inception. I'm saying this primarily because there are cameras, and so we can get something balanced on tape. The charter is a public school. It is a public school made lawful by the state of California. It would be interesting to read that speech once again and look at the statements from the point of the hatred embedded in that, the Trumpian views embedded in that, and really the fascism embedded in that.
You want to come? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying that because really this is a 20-year-old program created by parents and their kids who are kids from this district want to go through this educational system. The district is a great school district. This is, I think, just as good, and many parents want this educational system for their kids, who are public school kids, with funds paid for by the voters in this district, in Marin, and really they should have a share in all of the the funds that voters,
For the in-district students, correct?
I've gone way over.
In-district, right, not out of
Let's
district.
wrap it up. Okay. We're getting more hands going up. Folks. Yeah.
Why don't you make a final list of all the comments?
No, just because we already allowed all the extra funds of only ways, and we can't allow them.
All right, see you.
Sierra Salem, I get it, from both sides, I really do. It's not ideal. And, you know, I don't care if people like me, and that's probably pretty obvious. And honestly, as far as I can tell, neither side wants me. It gets kind of lonely. It's like, I just do what I do and I say what I say. And I just see things how I see them. And, you know, if everybody's going that way, I might be going that way, but it's not because everybody's going that way. I'm just going that way because I'm going that way. Anyway, we got a big problem here, all the way around. I stood there with this sign the other day that said, you know, come hate with us. And on one side were charter people who seemed to think I was saying one thing and they liked my sign, perhaps. And the other side were stand people who seemed to think I was saying another thing and absolutely hated my sign. And I'm the hater there. And part of our problem is I went across the street to both sides and say, hey, you need to hear these people and understand them and somehow have them get that you hear and get what's going on for them. And I was like, oh, we tried that. It's like, it's not happening. And I went to the other side and heard about the same thing. That doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And both sides, I mean, I'd like to use some kind of more colorful like words here, but I'm going to refrain from doing that. It just doesn't work. And neither side, we're suffering from basically first world, over-entitled problems. We really are. And Heather talked about living a certain way or something. And you know, from where I stand, none of us are looking at our own trash cans, and most of what's in our trash cans is toxic crap. And it's like, you want to leave a planet worth living on? Start where you live. Start with all of it. And why? Systematically, people tell me it's like I'm off the wall or it's like I'm off topic. Why are we putting all our money into the military? Why are we not taking care of gun control or laws? There's too much there, and people aren't communicating. It's like, damn it, I'm right, to hell with you people, or damn it, I'm right, and to hell with you people. It's all of our children, it's one community. And why the hell do we bore the crap out of our kids by junior high school and stick them in a box where none of them, or few of them, like going to school to begin with? It's like Ross Valley schools, charter schools, we've got a systematic, endemic problem everywhere. Why are we fighting over this? I don't get it. I don't understand it. We've got plenty of money. We've got plenty of resources. We can rip and shred each other on either side as much as we want. Get some mediation. Get some help. Get a therapist. I don't care what you get. Quit shredding my fucking planet. And sorry for swearing, but that's where it's at. We're driving in circles, and it's all about money. Look at the air. Look at the water. Look at the soil. What are we leaving for our kids? We love them. What are we leaving for them? What are we doing about gun control in schools? Well, let them take care of it. There's a woman in our community that just got shot up in Napa by. It's all about money, you know? Follow your own trash cans and your own wallets, folks.
So my name's Alice Moore. I actually do think we have limited resources, and I think this fight is about the fact that there are limited resources in this community. My belief is that if you are going to take funds and facilities from our community schools, then our community should have a say. So either hold elections for your board seats, or raise enough money to get your own facilities and to cover any ADA loss that must still be covered by the district, even when a student leaves. 45 to 55% of a child's ADA does not go toward a child-specific funding. It goes towards lights being turned on, goes towards insurance. So that means that our children now have to have that paid for by a smaller pool of money. So either stop making our kids pay for your school, or let us all have a say by having local elections for your board. That to me seems like a reasonable compromise if you want to have your school.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna close public comment now because I went out for a second time. And I'm gonna close along on our agenda. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So the next item on our agenda is our school director's report.
So I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm going to try and make it quick because I know we have a lot of items to get through tonight. The first thing I want to talk about is, as a school, we're working on understanding where our students are academically. So there are a few ways to go about this. There are the assessments that teachers give in classrooms. There's the CASP, the state test at the end of the year. But what we're working on this year is the internal assessments, through the SBAC internal assessments. And what these are there are two different forms. There's assessment blocks and there's comprehensive internal assessments. And this year we're working on assessment blocks, which really takes small elements of the state test